We may have had a really awful 2020, but it's ending pretty amazingly with Black Ops Cold War on the horizon, as well as next-gen consoles. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. As with Black Ops Cold War coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and the trailer footage being on PlayStation 5, you're going to be asking some questions like how much better is the game going to be on next-gen? What can we expect different? How will that affect multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone? How will that affect the pricing, the release times, and so much more? If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell, because from now until the release in November, we're going to have so much content here on the channel so often you won't want to miss out. And if you want a PS5 or Xbox Series X, let me know by dropping a like on the video. Now, all it takes for you to watch that reveal trailer to really realize how good this game looks. It's a truly next generation Call of Duty title graphically, and it's going to be an amazing experience to play a Call of Duty game on the next gen. And I also can't wait to just bring you guys a ridiculous amount of videos on this game when it drops on next gen. I'll be recording it all with my Elgato 4K 60 Mark II capture card, which can record 4K 60 FPS with HDR. They're a sponsor here on the channel, and if you're looking to create Black Ops Cold War videos on PS5 and Xbox and want to record it in 4K, I definitely advise you check in the link in the description to learn more about the Elgato capture cards. Now, the weird thing is we don't know when either the PS5 or Xbox Series X is releasing, but what we do know is that this game is releasing on November 13th, 2020 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Now, the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions are scheduled to release on or after the 13th of November, depending on when the consoles are available to players. So essentially, the game will be day one for these platforms if they launch after the 13th of November. If they launch before, the game will release on its release day of the 13th of November. But with that out of the way, let's get into detail on what exactly is going to be improved with this game in comparison to playing it on a PS4, for example. As naturally, you'll have some questions about how this will affect zombies, multiplayer, and Warzone. So the first visual upgrade you'll get is the game will run at a native 4K resolution on both consoles, which is something that Call of Duty just doesn't do right now. The PS4 Pro and One X can output 4K, but the games aren't natively 4K, so this will dramatically increase how crisp the game will look. On top of that, for the first time ever in console history with Call of Duty, is you'll be able to experience higher frame rate. Now, ever since Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the console target for Call of Duty games has always been 60 FPS, which is like the industry standard now. And the game looks great at 60 FPS, but with higher frame rate, we can assume it will be up to 120 FPS. And combining that with a refresh rate at 120 Hz, this game is going to look so buttery smooth on console that it's going to be very difficult to distinguish the difference between the console version and the PC version. I'm gonna be straight up with you here, it's crazy, but it goes one step further, as it's going to take advantage of hardware-based ray tracing, which has only ever been in Call of Duty since last year's Modern Warfare 2019 on PC. And as you can tell from the trailer, there is a ton of incredible lighting thanks to real-time ray tracing, which means lighting and shadows will be accurate, with rays of light bouncing around a scene in a realistic manner. You'll see the effects of this in things like Woods' pickup truck, which has the fictional brand name Bannerox, which has a run-down look that feels like it's from another era, and you can see duct tape, cracked vinyl, and a CB radio in the interior. And with the power of the PS5 and Xbox Series X, they're able to add even more detail and put even more love into everything they create. And thanks to the graphical power of the PS5 and Xbox Series X, they aimed for a greater photorealism than ever before, and it captured imagery of assets from the 1980s, and they'd used the capabilities of the next gen to display the imagery with HDR, 4K, and wide color gamuts. The Soviet world was grey, but the team injected pink, purple, red, and other primary colors to change up the visuals in the different scenes. The aim was to create a 1980s look and feel in places like an arcade or a bar. So when it comes to zombies on PlayStation 5, it's very fair to assume that they're going to go bonkers with the colors, and the details and the lighting in the zombies maps that we're going to experience are going to be the best looking we've ever had. This is it involves Cold War experiments, we can assume that it's also going to have a 1980s setting, which fits in completely with the team's idea of that photorealism and those colors. And one of PS5's biggest features is the fact that it has a new 3D audio engine, which will make sounds appear to be coming from all around you relative to where you are in a scene, and will allow you to be even more immersed in a game's world than before, because noises and effects will be far more realistic in terms of where they come from. David Vonderhaar recently came out to reveal the game will also have improved 3D audio on PS5, so it's easier to figure out where the sound is coming from, which will absolutely change up the experiences that we will have in Zombies, multiplayer, and Warzone. It's going to be a brand new element that we've not even realized we needed before. But on top of that, the PS5 version will use the haptic feedback of the new PS5 controllers in unique ways. We don't know exactly what yet. Here's a really cool example from another PS5 game, Ratchet & Clank. So if you have a double barrel shotgun and you squeeze the trigger part of the way, you'll only shoot one barrel. If you squeeze the trigger past that resistance point, you will naturally feel some resistance in the trigger, and pushing back on that resistance like as if it was a real weapon to fire both barrels is a very interesting concept of how a weapon can feel more real. To what extent the haptic feedback is used in Black Ops, we don't know, but it's going to be used. But one fantastic improvement you'll see on the PS5 and Xbox Series X version is that the game will have blistering fast load times. Loading screens will be completely gone, with seamless transitions between cinematics and gameplay. Now, it's fair to assume that whatever we're getting for the Zombies experience, they're probably going to use the power of the next gen to create some pretty big environments, and we've had to deal with a lot of long loading times in the past, especially when it comes to Black Ops 4 on console. You can be waiting up to 1 minute to 2 minutes for the maps to fully load in, but this will load in very quickly. Now that we've spoken about all of the next gen features so far confirmed, let's talk about how this is going to work with cross progression, crossplay, and the like. So if you have a PS4 copy and your friend has a PS5 copy, you can play together. Every console that this game is releasing on, so PS4, Xbox One, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC, they can all play together through crossplay. If you plan to play on multiple platforms, your progression will cross over to every single one. So if you have a PS4 copy and you plan to get a PS5, your progression will carry over. What gets confusing is how exactly it works if you are planning to upgrade to a PS5 but you're getting the PS4, or you're doing the same thing but with the Xbox. So there's 3 editions you can get of the game right now: the standard edition, the cross-gen, and the ultimate. The cross-gen and ultimate allow you essentially to upgrade your current gen version to the next gen version of the game when it becomes available. If you buy the digital standard edition of the game on PS4, you can upgrade it to the PS5 version in the store for $10. You can still play your PS4 or Xbox One version of Black Ops Cold War on your next gen console. It will just be playing it via backwards compatibility, and it won't be the next gen version that will have all these new additional features that were spoken about in the video. Now, the downsides if you own a physical copy of Cold War on PS4 is that you can upgrade it to the PS5 version for the same price, but it requires the PS4 disc to be in the PS5 in order to play. If you want to upgrade your digital version of Cold War on Xbox One to Xbox Series X, at the moment they aren't sure if that's even going to be an option. That is currently being evaluated. And whilst you can upgrade the physical PS4 copy of Black Ops Cold War to a PS5 digital copy, you cannot upgrade the Xbox One physical copy to the Xbox Series X digital version. And you can only upgrade within the same console family, such as PS4 to PS5 or Xbox One to Xbox Series X. So if you're planning on upgrading at any point and want to enjoy the next gen version but not rebuy the game, the cross-gen bundle seems to be the best value for money, as it's only an additional $10 more than the standard edition. And obviously the game is going to be played on so many different platforms, they're going to need to make sure that there aren't too many differences with the overall foundations of the game, so that everything can run simultaneously on all platforms, since we have that cross-play enabled. That about rounds it up. Let me know what next gen console you're going to be playing Black Ops Cold War on, and hopefully I'll catch you for another one of my videos very soon. Take care.